welcome. My name is Matt, aka Road Jedi 88. I am getting into Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Guild Raid because my guild has just launched a raid. My previous video in the Guild Raid playlist is going to kind of give a breakdown of how we get to get raid and what a raid is. So we have a raid going on, and I don't know what I'm pressing. Why did they give me this approach if it was just going to send me there and not actually into the raid? This new layout, I think they have some kinks they need to fix. EA Games, that is. Not my guild. My guild has nothing to do with that. So we're going to get into the raid. This one is called Return of the Jedi, Speeder Bike Pursuit. There are other raids. There's multiple other types of raids. And you definitely, you might need to ask your guild leader and guild officers if you need them to backtrack, remind them what it's like to be in the younger game player phase. Because of achievement purposes, they're probably going to think right off the bat, oh, he's wanting this for shards. You can get those in the store. No. You also need them for achievement purposes. You also need them for journey guides, completions. So you might bring it up to your guild leader, guild officer, and see if they're willing to kind of backtrack. I mean, not frequently, but maybe, I don't know, maybe once a month or once every other month. Because, I mean, if it's a guild that's been around for a while, they're going to want to continue pushing themselves as well. So it's a matter of compromise, you know. So here we can kind of modify or do a difficulty modifier, but I want to see what characters are required as well as what characters I have to contribute. And I only have 4 Relic Amplified characters to contribute. So that's going to make a difference as to what kind of difficulty mode I want to crank it up to. Assuming I have what I need. Huh? No? Alright, so I'll give it a shot, but here's the thing. I'm cranking up the difficulty. Do I feel comfortable that my characters can make the battle? I guess I'll find out. Because it'll multiply the rewards or the scoring. But I need to be able to get through it too. So I've set up a couple guys. Rex, Admiral Akbar is the squad leader, and Chewbacca. Now Chewbacca's an attacker. Rex is a support from behind the front line, or the leader position. Admiral Akbar is a support character. I was wanting to see what that specifically did. So divert attention, reusable in 3 turns, remove stacks of damage and stacks of distract from all enemies. All allies gain stacks of jam. Okay, so let's throw some raspberry jam maybe? I don't know. Okay, so hasty repairs, reusable in 3 turns. All allies gain stacks of evasion and repair stacks of damage on self. What the hell? That's a little glitchy. Get alongside that one. Reusable in 3 turns. Remove stacks of damage and stacks of side swipe from target enemies. Gain a stack of gem on self. That's a weird word of phrasing there. Reusable in 3 evasive maneuvering. Reusable in 3 turns. All allies gain stacks of evasion and repair stacks of damage on self. Remove stacks of damage. Remove stacks of damage and stacks of sideswipe from target enemies. Gain a stack of gem on self. Okay. So then we're gonna run the primaries, which is remove stacks of damage from target enemies. So he has damage, sideswipe, distract, timber, relic, delta. And the other guy, hello, I'm trying to check you out, dude. Damage, sideswipe, distract, timber, relic delta. I mean, they're kind of sitting with the same stuff. We've been dishing it out on them. But basically, you're kind of killing these guys off. As you can see, up at the top, we have this meter up here. Objectively, they want us to try to aim for that section, if you can. You can do autoplay if you wanted to, but if you want to have a little more control of what's happening, especially if you realize you're gambling more odds against you for it, might be something to take into consideration. If you're amplifying the score count. So at this point, I'm just simply running the raid. And the stat count is kind of like dealing with the Geonosians or the battle droids, I think. I could be wrong, but the stat count, if it's anything like them, you're basically just kind of dwindling their numbers. They're going to keep coming in waves, as you can see. Like I killed that guy off, but another one's going to come in and replace him. So yeah, they get replaced. But each time you defeat them, you gain on this meter up here. This is partly too why sometimes running it manually instead of auto sometimes is almost preferable. But watch your own stacks. As you can see, I got 15 on Chewbacca, 22 on Admiral Akbar, 10 on Rex. If anything, it's more or less like a test to see how long you can survive. That's really a lot of what this is. How long can you survive? And if we can bring them down to the end of the meter, that'd be nice. And for the level 2 max, the score that I can rack up is 200. I say 200 and 600. Teach me how to count. I'm distracted with my recording. My recording controls. I'm just trying to get rid of that line. I'm trying to point stuff out, but I don't need it just sitting there. So I'm sitting at 364,000 out of 600,000 that I'm needing. Everybody managed to get that number wrong the second time I was trying to correct myself. So you see, each time we get a hit, more so when we knock them out, that's when we really see the score up. Dude, your tail's on fire. And I'm dead. Alright, well, lasted as long as we could. Submit. I mean, unless y'all wanted me to discard the progress I built, but that kind of feels like a backfire. Why did we come all the way back to the front? Go back. Alright, so yeah, I'm not done. So I might need to bring the modifier down a bit so we can have more characters to work with. I'll run a Lando with this. Well, this is gonna be a weird mixed squad here. It's probably not the best of squads, but really, honestly, the more geared up you can get your squad members, the better. But it's three characters a squad. At least that's how it's been for me. I wish I could get 5. Not enough path width here. 2 of the squad members would be crashing in the trees, I guess. But yeah, I definitely need to work on these characters, get them built up. If you notice though, a lot of these characters are also characters that are part of journey guides. Just like the some of the guild completions are in the journey guides as well. Some of the raids, the guild raids. You got 3 of them in the journey guides, and it's interesting that this particular raid utilizes characters that you also need for journey guide quests. So, pushing guild members to get their journey guides done, and the guild definitely overseeing maybe letting newer members have a chance at the earlier raids again, probably would be helpful in promoting this particular raid to be a little more successful. Granted, they're not the same type of raids as this is. I mean, I remember the Rancor one. I remember Darth Treya being kind of a challenging one for a lot of us. Trying to remember the General Kenobi one. I think it was in that Coliseum for Geonosis. I have vague memories of that one. But the Rancor was like the easiest to take out. That would be the easiest one to be, I mean, for the new boot members of the guild's new boots, that'd be an easy one for them to be able to get knocked out for themselves. The Darth Treya definitely might need some of the guild officers pitching in and helping with that one. But got some more contribution. Nice. Also got some questing done. Got some rewards. Personal rewards. Cute. Okay. I still got some more characters I can load in. I'm gonna run a squad of Ewoks. Do I have an Ewok that's a leader? There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna run this. Yeah, I don't always just go manual. I mean, when you're on the easier difficulty mode, I mean, you can still run, I guess, run manual if you want. That way you have more control of what's happening. Because like that last one didn't last long for me. But autoplay does tend to make mistakes in their play out. But so does a human, so Pickle juice. All right. Well, that sucks beautifully. Let's go back in. There any more rewards? Collect. Go back. What reward am I missing? That was weird. Alright. Who else do I have? This is my last squad contribute? I believe so. Kinda almost no point sending Logray in by himself. Not unless I power him up just a little bit. But even if I sent Logray in by himself, he's not going to come out with much, if any at all. But as I pointed out with territory wars, territory battles, or particularly territory battles, more so territory battles than territory wars. I think when the role of some of territory wars would be going to be way different. But a little something's better than nothing. Because these scores, the points that we're racking up individually in the raids is also being contributed to the guild overall. So yeah, my low grade may be the last one, and he's like a shrimp in comparison to my other characters, but I mean, he's still a character that is qualified to race through here. So I mean, it may not look like much, but it is still a little something, and it's better than nothing. If you really wanted to, you probably could have ran the relic amplified characters through the 0 difficulty mode. And it probably wouldn't have been too hard to get that 300 mark, or that 300,000 mark. But then again, you lose the multiplier for not doing it. So whenever the next version of this raid comes around, it might be a reason to take into consideration and look into it. So I mean, build up your characters at least. I mean, build up your characters, but if you're not confident that they can do better than what you did last time, maybe if you wanted to bump down the difficulty notch next time, I mean, you gotta go with, I guess you gotta kind of have to go with what you're comfortable with, or what you see your characters are capable of. You gotta take the time to get to know your characters. So that was Raids, Return of the Jedi, Speeder Bike Pursuit. I might muscle up my low grade before I come back and run him through. See if I can't maybe bring any other characters possible for it. But in the meantime, I'm now on the scoreboard. Whoop, what? Come on. Go away. I'm now on the scoreboard. I don't have the highest contribution, but I've contributed. That's what matters. And that is Guild Raids for, which one? Return of the Jedi. So subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comments, questions, suggestions down below, and may the Force be with you. Thank you for following.